Morning folks, I'm James. Welcome to the live stream. I'm going to go through the main movers from last week and have a look at what might happen next week. And I'm going to pay particular attention to stocks, Bitcoin, natural gas, oil, and gold. So let's get started, and we'll start straight away with the stock market. And let's have a look at the NASDAQ, which is now broken along with the S&P to new all-time highs above that green line there, which was the previous double top all-time high. I have a target for the NASDAQ up here at the top 200 period Bollinger Band and the channel center line. Let me show you where the channel comes from. It's this long, large green channel we broke down during the Liberation Day drop down in all the markets, and we're right back into the channel now. The channel center line's here, this dotted blue line, and the top 200 period Bollinger Band's pretty close to that where I've got my blob, and my next target's all the way up here at the top of the channel, right up here at about 25,000. So that's all very well, but what can we say about this coming week? Let's zoom in a little bit and have a look at what's happened. So the green line is the breakout zone. That's the big double top that you can see on the left-hand side there. And we're trading above it now. We've been above it for 3 days. We haven't reached our target yet, and I expect that we'll reach the top 200 period Bollinger Band and the channel center line. And if we got there on Monday or Tuesday, that would be just below 23,000. Let's call it 23,000, the big round number. Before that happens, though, I expect we'll have to retest this breakout level at 22,240, roughly. And that's a little bit below us. So let's have a look at the 4-hour chart. I don't trade this off 4-hour charts, but just to illustrate, that's where the breakout level is. There's the 20-period moving average. I expect we could get some pullback to some of these moving averages, maybe even down below the breakout point. And going back to the day chart, we can easily set a target for this at the 20-period moving average. In a strong uptrend, which this may have started now, the 20-period moving average should support the price. So any pullbacks down towards the 20, which will move up on Monday, I expect the 20-period moving average will be around 22,000 on Monday. So we're trading at 22,000 and a half now. So maybe a 500-point pullback. I'm currently hedged on this as I am on the S&P. You can see my 2 short positions there, and that's my long hedge position equal to the size of the combination, the addition of the 2 shorts. What I'm looking to do now is to take some profit on that long position before we pull back, if we don't pull back first, and then ride this back down to the breakout level at 22,220 or 30. Take profit on the short and then immediately reverse back to long. Now that we've broken out above these lines, and let's have a look at the S&P, I'm now assuming that these markets are bullish and that the bear market sell-off is now over. On the S&P, we've just fractionally broken above the double top twin high as well. And let's have a look at where we are compared to there. We're just a little bit above it. And Friday was the first day that we managed to close above that level. So sort of a nascent uptrend on the S&P. We're also hedged on this one, 2 shorts there with a long almost at the same price actually. So pretty much on top of each other. What I'll be looking for on this one is a move back down to the 20-period moving average and maybe this recent swing high at around about 6,040. And maybe we've got to retest 6,000 again. I don't know. That's just a little bit below there. So the goal on the S&P and the NASDAQ is essentially the same, to ride these back down to the breakout points, the double top breakout points, take profit on the longs, take profit on the hedges, and then get long on both the NASDAQ and the S&P. We took profit on our German 30 trades. If you remember, we got short at the top. We went long at the bottom, having taken profit there, and we got out at the 20-period moving average. This has now moved higher, and we don't have any positions on this at the moment. Remember, on this instrument, on this index, we've got a big channel as well, very similar to the NASDAQ, and this channel has held all this time. We still have not yet broken out through the top, and maybe now is the opportunity to do so. On the other hand, we may have to retest the channel top for the 3rd time. That could take us up to about 24,800, maybe slightly higher, depending on how long it takes. If we do get that retest, I'll be looking to go short on the German 30, so keep that in mind if and when we get there. I've also had long positions on MSTR, Tesla, ARK-K, and NVIDIA. We took profit on ARK-K and NVIDIA on Friday. You can see we've just moved down from the top Bollinger Band where we took the profit on ARK-K. I'll be looking to rebuy this on dips back down to the 20 or the channel top again. And on NVIDIA, we also took profit near the top Bollinger Band. We didn't quite get there, pretty close though, after having a good run up from the breakout from this ascending triangle. I'll also be looking to buy NVIDIA again on dips, just the same as I am on ARK-K. And I'm still holding my long positions on MSTR and Tesla. This is MSTR. Holding the 50 and the 20 period confluence right there. That's a very, very powerful and significant support level. We got long below there a few days ago, and we're looking for this to move up to the double top recent swing high, and then a breakthrough there up towards this all-time high at around about $540. And on Tesla, we actually have a similar sort of chart, just holding the 20 and the 50 period moving average confluence right here, and we're just below the 20. That's this curling down green one. And the 100 period is just below all of this lot too. So we've got some decent support, and we've got the Fibonacci level that we just tried to hold on Tesla. I'm looking for this to move up back up to its all-time high. above $490, just around 500, and then break up through there eventually in time. On Tesla in general, as long as this triple bottom holds, I'm going to remain long in my bias. I'm not going to talk too much about currencies today, but just to say we got out of our euro longs and out of our pound longs, taking well over 200 pips on both of those. We're still short on the euro yen and the pound yen. Those have not broken up above that recent high, but I may have to hedge those still. And we're also still long on the Aussie dollar against the US dollar, just waiting for us to get to that arrow to move higher, although we've already started to move it up a little prematurely. I added another long tranche at about 0.655 to the existing position from 0.64, and I'm looking for this to move up to about 0.7. On cryptos, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, all long and strong. I've not added any fresh positions since our new additions quite recently at the bottom. I added a new position to my Ethereum longs here at the 100-period moving average on that dip down. I also added to my Bitcoin long position at the bottom of this bear flag. And as I keep on saying, this bear flag's way too neat, but it seems to be holding. There's the 20 and the 100-period moving average below us, and there's the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement, and the 50 is just below here. This is all super neat. 2 touches at the top of the bull flag, 2 touches at the bottom, almost perfectly. A little bit of a penetration through there at that bottom, but not much. We got long again just below 100,000 and added to our positions from way down here in the low 70s. And this is looking like it's going to break out through the top. My target for Bitcoin is at $146,000 and then $164,000. Those are both fib extension levels. This is looking really good on Bitcoin, and a break and a hold above this bull flag top will probably tempt me to add another long position to this. Notice how we've held the 20 and the 50-period moving average confluence just below the price, supporting it beautifully in this mini bull flag within the larger bull flag. There's the mini bull flag, and there's the larger bull flag. So that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, long on all of them. We added a new long tranche to that one too at the bottom of that spike, and that's moving up nicely as well. We've got to get out of this bull flag as well on XRP. A very, very nice one, but a little bit too long. I do like the way we're hugging the top of the channel and not the bottom. So a breakout through the top is more likely than through the bottom. Right, on energies, well, we're out of natural gas right now, so we have no positions on. I'm waiting for the open to get going in a few hours' time and see where we're going. So we got long at the bottom here eventually. We got out at the 100-period moving average close to the end of play on Friday. If you recall, we were short from the top here. We took profit, we reversed, we got long at the bottom, and we took profit at the 100-period moving average on Friday. That's the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the day chart. And what a massive reverse rally against the direction of play, taking us up to our profit-taking area here, also at the 100-period moving average on the day chart, and there's the 20, the green line just sneaking above there. So we've definitely broken out of the downtrend, and we have a big bullish candle with a shaven bottom and almost a shaven top too. That's where we took profit. We took profit there just because we had the weekend coming up, and because there's still a lot of tension going on in the Middle East. So we'll have to see how this opens up. We may gap up or we may gap down, and there could be anything could happen in the next few hours before the market opens. I don't think the situation between Israel and Iran is totally resolved, and it's not all that clear as to whether all the nuclear material, the enriched material, has been bombed or destroyed or got rid of, or maybe it's moved somewhere else. There's still a lot of tension in that area, which could affect the price of energies, natural gas included. So what are we to say? I don't really know. I think what I'm going to do, my plan of attack on this, is to see how we open up tonight, and I guess we'll gap up or gap down. We don't always gap, but very often we do, and when we gap, whichever way we gap, I'll judge it from there. The best thing is actually to wait for a couple of hours, probably 2 4-hour candles, which will take us well into the New York session tomorrow, and then we can decide what to do thereafter. So we'll open up in a little while's time, actually about 12 hours time from now, and we'll see how we go. If we gap up or gap down, we can make a decision thereafter, probably 1 or 2 candles after that. That could take us well into sort of lunchtime in London or even into the early New York session. So I'll decide what to do there right now. I don't have any particular bias, but generally I think we're trading in a new range between somewhere around about $3 and either $4 or $4.50, maybe even $5 as the top, in a new sort of range going to the rest of the year. So we were trading between roughly $2 and $3 for most of last year, and I think we've moved up by $1 to something like $3 to $4. We'll see how we open up a little bit later on. I don't have any particular bias right now, but we're trading at $3.72 on the futures currently as it stands. That may open higher or lower, but we're much closer to the top of that range, which I talked about earlier, in the $3 to $4 range. We're much closer to the top. And if we do gap up, and I expect we may do, looking at the candle from Friday, let's quickly look at that again. Normally with these sort of shaven candles, like we see here, shaven head almost, meaning very small wick at the top, very small wick at the bottom. Normally with these candles, it's a continuation candle, and we'll probably move higher from here rather than lower. There are some good examples of similar continuation candles here on the left-hand side. Right, let's look at WTI. Well, we still have a short position on here, 25% short. We took, we've taken sort of 75% of our profits down here. It does look like we're going to move lower. I was hoping for a bounce up to about 67, 68, 69, or even 70 towards the 200 period moving average, the purple line, and the 20, which is sharply curling down, for us to add those positions back on. But right now it looks like we've got no bounce up going on at all, and it looks like we're headed lower. So next target's down at the bottom of the channel, basically $55. We've got to get through this order block and the 50-day moving average, which are both important levels. After such a sharp sell-off, I do expect a bit of a bounce, but look towards the middle of your page. With that sharp sell-off, it carried on going for much further than we've already gone on this occasion. So it's possible that we'll just keep moving down, keep busting through these levels, the 50, the order block, down to about 55, and retest the bottom of the channel. Eventually, I expect that channel will break and we'll move much lower. You can see I've got it sort of angling down within the channel, but it's also quite possible we could see a sudden crash down through the bottom. So that's WTI oil, and if I do get the chance to add between 67 and 70, add some more shorts, I'll do so. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold this for the move down to 55 and then decide what to do down there. I expect we'll bounce off 55 again, maybe the bottom of the channel, maybe slightly lower, maybe 50. Somewhere down here, maybe a triple bottom even, a bit of a bounce back up into Moab. Moab being this orange line in the middle here, mother of all breaks. Generally, while we remain below Moab, and you can see we've tried to get back in there, we haven't managed to do that, we've failed, this remains incredibly bearish on WTI oil. And then uranium, I'm looking for a dip on URA to get back into a long position. We've closed our longs, we've taken profit at the red arrow there. We got long here at 22 and we got out at about 38. I'm looking for a dip down into one of these yellow zones to rebuy. Probably this level just below 30 is my favorite, down below this gap, which we probably need to close at some point. Close that gap down to the 200, 100, and 50 period moving averages just below 30. We might just even hold 30. One more thing I just want to quickly point out is TLT. A lot of buzz now about treasuries and whether this can lift off. And we've been long for quite some time now, around about break even at the moment. And we've got all this pressure above us, trend lines, and so on, but into what looks like a bullish reversal long-term triangular pattern. And if we do break up through all these levels, first of all, the 100 period moving average right there, then the 200 at the trend line, and then this longer red trend line, a little bit above that, I suppose, then we could get quite a short squeeze on here, and I think I might just hold my long positions. So we're long from around about where we are now at about 88, 89, I think it's 88 and a half, and looking for this to move up very, very sharply. And if it doesn't and just keeps moving sideways and dribbles around, at some point, probably in about a week or two, I'll get out of that one at break even. I'm not going to talk in detail about softs and grains today, just to say we're long on sugar, we're still short on cocoa. We took profit on our coffee shorts on Friday, right down here at the bottom of the channel, looking for a bounce up from there and a resell to ride this further down. That's coffee. We're still long on corn, long on cotton. Cotton's looking good now, breaking out of this pattern and hoping for a big move up on that one. We have nothing on OJ, nothing on soybeans, and on wheat, we're looking for this to move up. We pull down to the 61.8% Fibonacci level. We've got the 786 just below here. Got a little trend line just underneath. We've broken up through the top trend line, and I expect that we'll find support around about where we are currently and eventually break up through that trend line again and move much, much higher. My targets for wheat are at all these swing highs. Let's start over there. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and there's a couple over there. So all of those swing highs are my targets. You can see where those are, mark them up on your charts. I've just realized I've forgotten about metals. Let's talk about metals, and this is also pretty simple. Gold has now broken down through this trend line and down through these Fibonacci support levels, and also down below the 20 and the 50 period moving average. So in the short and the short to medium term, we're bearish on gold. Those moving averages are now defeated, and we're moving down along with the trend line, which we've now just broken. I know a lot of people are thinking that gold will find support here. I'm not too sure about it. It looks like we may just have to get a little bit lower. The next level is down here at 31.20. That level could provide much, much stronger, even firmer support. So watch out for that level. And then with a bit of luck, we'll actually move down to about $3,000, give or take, I don't know, $50 or $100 either side. And at the extreme, we could move down to 2,700 or 800. None of these are popular opinions in the market right now, and most people think that we'll find support right where we are right now. That could well be the case. We're short from 3,331, so we're well in profit on this trade and looking for this to move down, but we're basically protected and safe on this trade. And at the same time, I've also got a long on silver, and that one's also in very good profit. We got long down here at about 31. We also got long here at about 35 and a bit. That was in addition to the existing long trade from much earlier near the trend line here and these order blocks. And we're holding up pretty well on silver. We've managed to take profit on silver longs and at the same time take profit on gold shorts a number of times already, so that's been pretty good. And the other one that we have on long is copper, and this is one of my favorite plays. And if we manage to close by the end of this month at this current level, we will have reached the highest ever close on copper in history. So very, very bullish. We got long at $4.72. We're trading at $5.04 right now. And I expect we'll move up to $5.30, back up to this top here, and then eventually try and break out. Extremely bullish on copper, and there's all sorts of reasons for that. Copper and silver, I think both have a good chance. And probably gold as well. It just depends how far this is going to pull back. Don't forget that I'm bullish on gold. I'm not bearish. I'm playing this pullback. So I think the sort of my key areas to buy gold will be at 31.20 or 3,000. But it is possible, just remotely possible, I think, that we could hold here at 32.60 or so. 70, and if we do hold here, I'll simply be looking to exit this trade, take profit, or get out at break even if we move higher. And at the same time, if this does move higher, silver and copper will probably move higher too. Okay, folks, so all eyes on the stock markets. The idea is to pull back down to the breakout levels, to take some profit on the long hedge, to get long on S&P and the NASDAQ, to remain long on MSTR, Tesla, ARK, NVIDIA. I'm trying to get long on QBTS as well. This is a play I'm waiting for. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, a dip down to the 50-period moving average, the channel top, a gap close, and then a rally on that one. And that's the quantum AI stuff as well. So that's all looking excellent. So overall, I think I'm happy with stocks. That's a good plan, I hope. And also in gold and silver, all the cryptos looking fantastic. I'm very bullish on all of that. On energies, we're going to just play natural gas by ear, see how we open up later on today, remembering that we're closer to the top of the range than the bottom. So we'd probably be more inclined to sell than to buy, but a lot will depend on how we open. And then WTI, looking to add some more shorts on at 67 up to about 70, but we're holding the existing shorts for a move down to 55. Well, have a great trading week, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And below the video in the description, there's a link that says Trader's Survival Guide. Click on there. There's all sorts of goodies in there for free, which I think you'll enjoy. And let me know what you think in the comments if you do download those things for free. So take care, trade well next week, be safe, and make sure you download the Trader Survival Guide in the link below. Speak to you soon. She's got hype, I got my edge. Trend line bouncing off my fib retrench. Wick to the downside, baby, I'm there. Snipe that entry like a Boston flared hair. No guessing, no stressing, I trade with poise. Volume building like disco noise. Yo, you that trader, Wick Hunter.